Hey, hello Disrupt. Welcome to this week's training. My name's Andy Bennis and I'm excited to be with you guys once again this week to cover more important topics on helping you be successful in your business and in your personal and professional growth. You know, one of the topics that comes up a lot is the secrets to success, right? A lot of folks who are new into any type of business, if you're an entrepreneur or it's your first time owning your own business, they're just wondering, what do I need to do to make this work? How do I become successful at this business I've chosen? And a lot of folks are looking for a magic bullet, right? They're just looking for one simple thing they can do that will automatically take care of everything without any hard work. Unfortunately, that doesn't exist. There are no magic beans. There is no magic potion. But there are tried and tested and true strategies that can help you succeed. And so we're going to cover a few of those today. I'm calling it the secrets to success. There are probably a lot more things we could put on this list, but I've chosen four secrets to being successful in this business. Okay, and I'm going to connect them kind of by way of contrast. What I mean is they're closely related, or the opposites of, four ways that people most often fail. Now, you know that a lot of times the easiest way to learn something is by watching the mistakes of others, right? We've all been there, we've all done that. And if you can avoid making the mistakes that everybody else has made, those who have gone before you, you'll be that much further ahead, right? This is no different. So I've sort of taken four reasons that people fail in the network marketing industry. The four of the most common reasons that people fail, and we're going to flip those around and turn them into the ways to be successful. All right, so I've got up on my board here some opposites, and we're going to kind of go through them and talk about it. And I'm going to start by talking about the failures and then turn them into successes. All right, so let's get started with the first one. Let me grab my red pen here. So we've got green light, red light, right? Green, do it, red, don't. So the first mistake that a lot of folks make in this industry, and that ultimately leads to their failure, is not using the products. And so if you're just in it for the money, and let's face it, if you're in business to make money, I get it. Every business wants to be profitable. But at the core of your business is what you're selling, your product or your service. And so if you're not using that product or service, if you're just along for the ride to participate in the comp plan, you're making a huge mistake. Because in the end, people are going to realize that you're not about this product that you're representing, you're just about taking their money. Over time, people will see through that. Because if you're not focused on the products, what are you focused on? That's what I've written up here. Hype. It's all hype. It's emotional energy. Hey, it's fun, it's awesome, check out our culture, check out the fast money, and you flash up all the pictures of the boats and the houses and the cars, and you help people build dreams. Is that important? Building dreams? Absolutely. But it has to be based on your business being the vehicle to get them to those dreams. And what is your business based on? The products. So at some point, put a little anti-sign here, at some point, hype is not enough. You cannot rely on pure hype, okay? Because when the music turns off and the party's over and everything goes quiet and people are left to think about what they're doing, if there's no solid reason behind it, if there's no solid benefit to the company or to the products or the services, or they don't even know about the products and the services, they're left with nothing. Because hype eventually dies. So build your story around the products. You don't have to, if you work for a company like Disrupt that has multiple products, okay, I'm not asking you to become an expert at every Disrupt product. But I'm asking you to find your favorite. All right? If you have not yet used Disrupt Travel, if you haven't saved up to 80% on a 7-night resort stay in a condo resort, right? You got to go do that. Make sure your vacation club is activated, make sure you start using Disrupt Travel, and you'll have a story to tell. Besides the fact you get to go on vacation, right? You got a story to tell. And people who are the most interesting to listen to have stories. So have a story. Even if it's just about financial management. If you have a story about how quickly you got out of debt, how quickly you paid off your car loan or your student loan, and how excited you are that you are debt-free except for whatever, a mortgage or something, right? But I paid off this, this, and this. That's a story. And whether it was TaxBot that helped you do that, or was the Disrupt Finance that helped you do that, you've got to find your favorite product and have a story. It might be Thunder. Okay, everybody loves Thunder. It's easy to share, it's easy to talk about, and your story might be as simple as, hey, I love energy drinks, I admit it, I'm addicted to them, but I made a decision, if I'm going to like energy drinks, I might as well drink one that's healthier for me. that's got natural caffeine and it's got antioxidants and B vitamins and a bunch of good stuff in it. Okay, that's your story. But it's got to revolve around the products. And so that is the secret to success. If you're going to be an expert on anything, be an expert on one or more of the products that Disrupt offers. Because people will look at you and go, wow, this person really knows what they're talking about and they're really passionate about it. It looks like those products really do help solve the problems they're talking about. It brings credibility to your argument. You can combine it with excitement. Hype sometimes is called passion and excitement, right? And that's fine. You can put all the passion, you should put passion and excitement into your story. But in the end, that story should revolve around products, not the hype itself. Okay? And so that's number one. The number one failure, or one of the number one failures is you rely on hype, but you're not using the products. So use the products, have a story, hone your story, okay? Become better at telling it. All right, and you'll be stronger. That's the first secret to success. So let's talk about a second failure. A second failure that people make in this industry that is ultimately leads to their failure is not continuously learning or reading or studying the industry. There are tons of good books out there about business. There are a lot of good books about being an entrepreneur or being a salesperson, owning your own business, and then there's even some that are very specific to network marketing. Okay, I think of books like Go Pro by Eric Worre. That's a great book if you are looking to become a professional in this industry and at some point do this full time. But even if you're not going to do it full time, why wouldn't you want to learn more and become better? Right? A pro athlete who makes the cut and is drafted onto a professional team, do they stop working out? Right? I've arrived. I got it. I've nailed this. I'm good. No, man. They show up. They're the first ones in the gym. They're the last ones to leave. Those are the great ones. They keep practicing, they keep learning, they keep studying. So, the failure, the word I put on the board here is stagnate. And if you've heard that word, right? Stagnate means to stop growing. And that's the mistake. You stop growing when you don't read and you don't study. When you don't watch videos like this, when you don't read books. You stop learning. And if you stop learning, you're never going to get any better than right now at what you're doing. And ultimately, you're going to burn out, or you're going to get bored, or you're just going to have a complete lack of success, and you're going to give up. So let's turn that failure on its head. What's the opposite? The opposite is grow, learn, study, read. Get GoPro by Eric Worre. Read Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. And dozens of other books that will get you thinking about success and about hard work and how to be smart about your efforts and how to translate your effort into success. You've got to read. Now, I know if you're like me, you don't have a ton of time to sit down and just flip through the pages of a good book. I'm telling you right now, you have to make time. Even if it's only a couple hours a week. Call it school. Maybe you're out of school, you're out of high school, you're out of college, and you're not taking any formal education right now. That's all right. Consider a book a month to be your formal education. And dedicate, whether it's a few minutes or an hour a day or a couple hours a week, dedicate it to the process of reading and learning. You're going to get something new from everybody you read. All right, and if you've read a couple classics before, read them again. It's like a good movie. The more you read, the more you get out of it, right? You see it a second time, you get something new. This is no different. So in order to continue growing and learning, you're always sharpening your tools. You're becoming better at what you do. It's pretty logical to understand how that leads to success. Learn a better way to do it. Nobody is born perfect at anything. But there are a lot of people who practice, fail, try again, learn a new way, try again, keep practicing until they get there. That's a secret to success. All right? So avoid that failure. Don't stop growing. Don't stop learning. Keep reading, keep learning. All right. A third reason for failure, especially common in this industry and really in other areas of business as well, and that is trying to do it alone. That's the little drawing here, the little guy by himself, right? If you try to do things alone, you and I both know what happens. Sometimes you get bored. Sometimes you just have a bad day. Sometimes you're frustrated, you're confused, you're not sure what to do next. You could be anywhere from bored to depressed and everything in between. And if you're trying to do everything by yourself in your own office, on the phone, on the computer, wherever, but you're by yourself most of the time, you're going to burn out. You're not going to have anybody around to lift you up or encourage you. And it's going to get stale really quick, all right? So the failure that a lot of people experience is, I tried it, and it just didn't work. Well, what did you try? Who did you run it by? Did you have anybody to keep you accountable? Did you have anybody to practice with? Did you have anybody to learn from? Do not try to do this alone. You know, there's a phrase that we use a lot where we say, you are in business for yourself, but not by yourself. In other words, when you start your own business, it's because you want to provide for yourself, for your family, for your loved ones, right? So I get it. We're all in business for ourselves to make a living and to provide and to even accomplish some fun things and some dreams like trips and, you know, homes, recreational stuff, whatever you want to do, whatever the money's actually for. We all want that. But to get there, you can't do it by yourself. Because as I've heard a lot of wise people say, including the CEO of this company, none of us is as smart as all of us. Okay? So I don't care how many honors classes you took, I don't care what kind of brainiac you are not as smart as a group of people. So don't do it alone. Instead, get with a team. This industry is built around teams. It's about partnering up with business partners who think like you do and want the same things you do and are willing to put in the effort to accomplish those things. So get with those people. Now, if you're already on board, you're doing your disrupt business and you're wondering who is my team, you've got your upline, you've got your peers, okay? Schedule times to get together, a weekly team call, set up a Facebook group, it's just for your team, okay? Do a call every other day. If you have to. Get one or two people that you're super tight with and talk to them almost every day between texts, okay, and emails, phone calls, chats, right? I don't care if you do FaceTime, Skype, Google Hangouts. If you live physically far apart, you got to use those things. Or just get together for a meal once a week. Go grab some tacos or burgers together as a team and talk business. Encourage each other. Because there are going to be times that you're sitting down going, guys, I am ready to give up. It's not working, I'm not making progress as fast as I'd like, and this is getting really frustrating. I'm thinking about just dropping it. And you're gonna have people who like you and care about you talk you out of it and say, dude, no way, it's way too early to give up. Have you tried this? Have you tried that? Okay, get with me, come to my meeting next week and I'm gonna, let's work it together. Let's get on the phones together and talk to some people. You're gonna be encouraged. Sometimes you're the one getting encouraged and sometimes you're the one giving encouragement. They're both very rewarding. But they only happen when you're working as part of a team. So you can feed off of each other's strengths. You can learn things from each other. You're going to get a phone call from somebody who said, dude, you know what I just read? You got to hear this. And then you hear something that changes the way you think and puts you on a path to success that maybe you weren't on before. Or speeds up your path to success if you were already on it. You with me? So don't do it alone. Be a part of a team for all those reasons. All right. Another one, this guy kicking, and I'm not an artist, so forgive me, but this guy's just kind of laying down with his hands behind his back and he's just behind his head and he's just kicking back, okay? One of the most common reasons people fail at this business is what I call the lottery mentality. And that is, hey, I got involved, I signed up, I bought some product, now I'm just going to sit back and I'm going to wait for the cash to roll in, right? You and I both know people like that, and you know what, if you're honest, you might be thinking that. Hey, I was promised that this would be pretty easy. I was promised that I just get involved, I buy some product, I get some other people to buy product, and all of a sudden these massive checks are going to start rolling in and I won't have to work a day in my life. Because everybody's talking about residual income, right? Money that keeps coming even when I stop working. And so the mistake people make is they assume that just happens right away. I'm involved, I bought my product, now I'm just going to sit back and wait for the money to come in, right? Like a guy who buys a lottery ticket and says, hey, I got my ticket and I just got to sit back and wait for them to pull those numbers and I'm going to be a billionaire. Okay? So avoid that lottery mentality. This is not a lottery. This is not a get-rich-quick scheme. This is not a overnight success story. Okay? You can make money very quickly and you can continue to increase those earnings relatively quickly depending on how hard you work. Okay, and it can happen a lot faster than other businesses you might own. Okay, if you start a carpet cleaning business or you open a sandwich shop or something, right? Opening a traditional business costs a ton of money up front, and then it takes you a long time to make that money back and actually break even or start turning a profit. So the network marketing industry is a beautiful business model because it allows you to turn a profit faster than almost any other industry. So it's a great place to own your own business. But it doesn't mean that there's no work involved. It doesn't mean that it's going to happen overnight. All right? So you can't go with a lottery mentality. You can't, well, I'm in. My upline is going to put people on my sales team. I am home free. I don't have to do a thing. Wrong. You've got to continue working. Now, I got a picture of a laptop here. It just means working, right? It just stands for doing what you got to do to build your business. I might as well have a laptop and a phone, and a living room or wherever you're going to host meetings, because you got to continue to work. You have to make the phone calls. You have to send the private messages. You have to have conversations. Okay? Hold meetings, do presentations, talk to people, introduce yourself to people, show off the products, start conversations with strangers. You have to do those things. Now, I don't care if you've only got 4 hours a week to dedicate to your Disrupt business. Okay? Whether it's 4 or 40, there's work to be done. And so do the important things. Work towards your success. Okay? For example, Facebook. It's a big business tool for a lot of people. It's a networking tool. It's a social tool, right? But you and I both know it's real easy to get lost on Facebook and just keep scrolling and scrolling. You're just reading the timeline. You're watching some videos. You're laughing at some stuff. You're commenting on some stuff. You're liking things here and there. All of a sudden, 2 hours go by and you realize you didn't do anything to help your business. You've just been hanging out on Facebook for 2 hours. Okay? So be deliberate about building your business, because it's not a lottery ticket that you can just sit back on. You got to work it. So if you're going to be on Facebook, great, network. But make sure you make posts, not just read posts. Make sure you're making videos, not just watching videos. If you want people to believe that you're passionate about it, you got to talk about it. And you can do it on Facebook. You can do it on the phone. You can do it in person. You can do it, online. You can do it in a home meeting. You can do it in a hotel meeting. You can do it alone, or you can do it with your team, right? The point we just made earlier. So you got to stay in motion. Again, I don't care if it's 4 hours a week or 40 hours a week, because you're going to multiply your efforts. If you're only doing 4 hours a week, but you're working with 2 or 3 other business partners who maybe have 10 hours each a week, maybe they have a life situation where they've got more time than you. Well, now between the 4 of you, there are 34 hours a week going into Disrupt business, because you know as well as I do, their success is going to be your success, right? So everybody working their hours helps. That's multiplication of effort. But what's the magic word? Effort. It has to happen. So avoid the lottery mentality. Understand that this is a business. You are owning a business. You run a business. And so you got to work it like a business. Okay? It's pretty common sense, but a lot of people forget. They assume it's just supposed to be easy. If you're thinking, man, it's work. If it's work, why do I want to do it? I have a job where I have to work. Well, you do it for all the reasons we talked about. It's fun, number one. It's the most fun you'll get to have. You get to work with who you want, where you want, when you want. Okay? And you're talking about fun stuff. And it's a great culture and a great atmosphere. And maybe you're building a dream. You don't want to work for your boss forever. You don't want to build your boss's dream. You want to build your dream. Okay? Well, you got to take baby steps to get there. But it takes work. All right. And then our final failure that's going to point us to a success, and it's probably one of the most common in the industry. If I had to rank these, this would probably be 1 or 2. Quitting too soon. A lot of folks get in and they realize, this 4th one here, they realize that it is work. And then they just get tired of it. They just burn out, right? I got a regular job. I got a family. I got a life. I'd like to go to a movie once in a while or have some fun. And I'm just not seeing the success I want. It's not happening fast enough. I'm out. Happens all the time. And people don't realize that what they've been building is a foundation that is going to accelerate as time goes by. Because the effort you put in now is only going to multiply. Because as your sales teams grow, there's an exponential growth, meaning it's not a straight line, just little by little. It starts off slow and then the curve starts to accelerate. And people give up too soon. There's an analogy I've done multiple times, and you've probably heard this one, some of you, and it's about the duplication of the penny, right? Doubling a penny. And it goes like this. If I were to tell you, hey, I want to pay you for 30 days, okay, to do something for me. I'm going to hire you. And I'm going to pay you every day. And what I'm going to pay you is double the day before. On day 1, I'm going to give you a penny. Okay? On day 2, I'm going to give you 2. On day 3, I'm going to give you 4. Okay? Then I'm going to give you 8. Then I'm going to give you 16. Then 32. Then 64. Then 128. You with me? Every day it's going to double. And you start doing that math, and you get all the way up to like the 15th, and you're like, I'm still only at like a couple $100. This is stupid. because we're thinking by the end of the month, I'm not going to get there, and it's going too slow. You know what happens in the last week, the last 2 weeks, the last day, in a 30-day or a 31-day month? Do the math. Millions of dollars on the 30th of the month. Millions. Whereas on the 15th, you were still in the couple hundreds. Okay? Why? You give up too soon. This is a business that works on an exponential growth scale. And a lot of people give up before they get there. It reminds me of a cartoon. If you've ever seen like a comic strip cartoon of a prisoner who's kind of tunneling, out of a prison cell, and he's just going and going and going, and he's like, ugh, this is too hard. I'm going to die in this hole. I'm starving. I'm running out of air. It's better to go back and be locked up. At least I've got fresh air and 3 meals a day. And I'm not going to die in the dirt. Turns around and goes back, and then they zoom out, and he's like 1 foot away from freedom. Right? Just, opening up into a little ravine, and he's free. And so the point there is not to escape prison. The point there is don't give up too soon. Just because it's hard now, or because it's moving too slow, or because you only have 4 hours a week to give to the business and you can't seem to find any more yet. Keep going. It works. All right? And you know that most people in this business, whether it's you or the people on your sales teams, any amount of money they make, even $50 a week, $50 a month. A week would be great too for a brand new person. But even if it's only $50 a month, and that's a little bit of money in this industry. But those folks stay involved over 80% of the time because they're making some money. So your goal should be to do what you need to do to get started, get your business profitable as quickly as possible with sales, and then help your folks do the same thing. Takes time, but don't quit. So this what I put here is you work it for a little while and you quit. So the message there is don't quit. Keep working it. Go full effort. Give yourself that green light to keep going for a while. 3 months, 6 months, a year, 2 years. It's not a 30-day business. It's not even a 90-day business. And it's realistically not even a 6-month business. Should you be making money by then? Of course. But you may not be making the kind of money you need to retire or quit your day job. That's fine. But you're making progress. Watch your sales volume inch up each month as you aggressively work the business with whatever hours you've got. All right? So, quick recap. Failures that we turn into success. Be a product of the products. Have a story to tell that revolves around the products. It'll make you real. It'll make you genuine. It'll make you believable in the eyes of everybody you talk to because you have a success story. A passionate success story that revolves around the products, which, by the way, is what you're going to be selling them. Because this is not a pyramid scheme. You're not selling them a spot in a payment plan. You're selling them products. And if they choose to sell those products to other people, they can earn money too. But it all revolves around the products and what they do for you and what they can do for others. All right, finally, keep growing, keep learning, keep reading, studying. Even if you're just browsing, there's some great websites like Forbes.com. They've got great articles. You can just look up entrepreneurship or whatever else and get yourself some great stories, some great quotes. Read books. If you're not sure which ones to read, I just mentioned two. I mentioned Go Pro and Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. Those are two things that every entrepreneur or anybody who owns their own business must read. But there are tons of other authors out there. The Tom Peters, Zig Ziglars of the world. I mean, there's dozens and dozens of books. You don't believe me? Go on Facebook and say, hey, entrepreneur-minded people, success-minded people, what books should I be reading? Watch the answers you get. Okay? By the way, the ones that you hear 4 or 5 times, those are the ones you should go get first. So keep growing. Don't do it alone. Do your business, do life, do it with people. All right? There's a reason, right? Wolves hunt in packs. There's a reason that lions don't pick on the middle of the herd. They peel somebody off, right? They peel off a young or an old or an injured animal. But once they peel them off from the pack, the guy's toast. Don't let that be you. Stay with the pack, right? Work with your folks. Okay? Work as a team. Keep working. It's not a lottery mentality. You can't just start and then stop. Keep going. Slow and steady wins the race, right? Consistent effort. Again, no matter how many hours a week you've got, be consistent. Be deliberate with those hours. And then finally, don't give up too soon. This is incremental. It's like losing weight. What are you going to do? You're going to go to the gym, run your butt off on the treadmill for a week, and then go, I didn't lose no 15 pounds. I'm out. Forget it. This sucks. You don't do that. Why? Because you know it's gradual. If you got 50 pounds to lose, you got to start somewhere. And you might only lose it 1/4 of a pound at a time. So do it, right? It's like that old saying, how do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time, right? It's the same thing with this business. How you can become successful? One step at a time, one activity at a time. So guys, there's our training for this week. Just a quick view at success. There's obviously a lot more we could talk about, and we will talk about in the future. Our topics are going to include the products themselves. We're going to do some product training. We're going to keep talking about specific skills you're going to need to succeed in this industry and to blow up your disrupt business. But I appreciate you joining us for the session. We'll see you next time. Take care, everybody.